Hello, good morning, folks, world, our roller friends out there. Today is June 15th, 2025, and we're here with John Kouzos. We're outside about an hour from Toronto, and John, we want to get to know little of John because I've been talking with John, and it's just like, I feel like I just need to come back. I feel like I need to come back. This is too short of a time, not enough time to spend with John. I think there's still so much there that we need to, I don't know, just feel like we just need to catch up on or just. So John, so tell us, pleasure to meet you. Congratulations on making it to the finals.
Thank you,
Here
Dan.
for the World Cup. We wish you luck. He's going to fly here in about 15, 20 minutes after this interview, actually. Lovely place out here, John. Tell us when you first started with pigeons, what got you into pigeons?
Well, I was born in what is now Greece, but it was Macedonia at the time in a small village. And my dad was in Australia for 10 years. Then he came here and we immigrated, my two sisters and my mom. And when I got here, it was farm life, village life back home. I ran out the door and my uncle chased me for like 2-3 blocks. He finally grabbed me and I remember knocking the cigarettes out of his pocket and they scattered and I felt bad. And he goes, John, calm down. I'm going to give you some nice pigeons. And that got my attention. And within a week he brought some pigeons and my dad got involved and we built, like same as everyone else, a little crate in the back. And I really got attached to the birds then. I remember, and they were rollers, and I remember there was one roller, I haven't seen one like that, ever. It was solid white with one black tail feather in the center. And that bird, we lived in a pretty tight space. I just slept on a cot in the kitchen, but there was a window there, and I could see the coop, and that bird would come out. Back then, we just let our birds free, and he would come to the windowsill, he'd land on my hand. And it all started from there, and then I continued with a lifelong journey with my dad, chasing rollers, and we got into the showbirds and stuff like that and met a lot of great people. And then that was pretty much it. And just like a lot of the guys back in the 70s, we were chasing deep spinning birds, spinners. And I guess I can transition it to current day. About 5 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, I came out here and I had to get pigeons again. I was out of it for like about maybe 5 years. And so I got into some tipplers. Then I was trying to chase down rollers. And I got into, luckily enough, Frank Lyons, a local member. I got some rollers off him. And then...
And he was in Canada.
Also. Yeah, he was just about, half hour away from here. And then what happened was the whole internet exploded and I got onto Facebook and I was starting to see different groups form. So I kind of wrote myself a little bit of a script. I'm going to try to go through it quickly. I think I really enjoyed a conversation with Dan. It's still surreal. I can't believe you're here.
Pleasure to meet you too, man.
And, just a lot of discussion around kind of life and careers and different experiences, which is what I feel this is all about. And certainly watching all the previous flyers, it's so refreshing to get to know some new faces and some existing ones. But I'm going to have to put my glasses on. So first of all, I just want to thank the Ontario Flying Roller Club. John Stryker, our director, is incredible. He does a lot, and in fact, all of the directors do a lot. If you were to ask me, like, I've watched some of your interviews, so I kind of, I think the number one guy was my dad, because we were like best friends through the hobby, and that's what this hobby's all about, developing friendships and supporting each other. So, we had a son-parent relationship, but we were really buddies. And over the years, I think the top guys for me, I have to mention Ralph Tuff. He's really been incredible. I know he does his posts, but he's just scraping the surface on the post, and it's not just all about the feed. And sometimes, you know, when you don't feel confident or you don't know which direction to go in, you need a buddy or someone that you can say, what do you think about this? And I've done that several times with Ralph. He's been incredible. So hello, Ralph, in Australia. And the second most influential guy was Tony Hatoum. I had kind of met Tony on Birding Out and West Coast Rollers. And I thought, wow, this is incredible. He's in Canada. So we connected, and Tony really mentored me for about 2+ years because I didn't know much about competition flying. So it's not like we would talk every day or even phone conversations. It was more just like messenger stuff, voice messages. And he really guided me, and he said, John, get involved, get back with the Ontario Club and get into the competitions because it's a lot of fun, and that's what it's all about, you know, with your friends. And that motivated me to get reconnected after Jay's passing. Jay Lucarelli, who George Mason mentioned, he was over in the UK with getting the Bob Brown birds. So about prior to that, I had Bob Brown birds. So Tony, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You've been there. And one story I remember, I contacted Tony once because I wanted to pick his brain about something. And he actually took my call and he talked to me for a bit. Well, I woke up the next day to find out that he was flying in the World Cup the next day. And I felt so bad, but I thought it was so decent of him because, you know, it's very nerve-wracking. And then I found out that was in 2019 when he won the World Cup. So I thought, what kind of guy does that? Actually, you know, like myself, I wouldn't be able to handle it. So Tony's been a very good motivator and very supportive. The third person is John Walnes in the UK. He, you know, virtually mentored me. I'd post my videos. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? And he gave a lot of good advice. And he's also, you know, I really respected him because he was a world class judge. He had done the World Cup. And he spent quite a time with me. I was on the US NBRC sites, and various groups started popping up. But then I came across a group in the UK, and it was Lonesome Dove, JD and Lonesome Dove, and my eyes opened up, and I thought, wow, I can't believe I'm in a UK site, because before that I was just buying CDs or... So I'm just going to mention a few guys. So there's JD there, there's top guys, and this is about the support, guys. This is about the communication. This is about the tips. This is about the friendships with everything I'm going to list here. So I want to mention Dave Wright, Greg Reynolds, Rob Sawyer, Nev Johnson, Roller Birds and Roller Man. They go by that handle. And that's where I met John and Ralph. And then John branched off and formed the All England Fly, because he wanted to give guys that are a little bit shy of competing an opportunity to really participate without any pressure. And I remember jumping on board and saying, guys, look, a judge, especially of a world-class caliber, is your opportunity to get a proper assessment of your birds, because it's invaluable, the feedback that you get when you go into the competitions. And that proved to be very successful. Greg Reynolds, I remember his first interview there, and he's excelled quite a bit. But other flyers that I got to know through that site was Cole Bailey, Joey Mackin, Wayne Hitchcox, Graham Harris, gem of a person. Of course, George Mason, and also Nigel Mason, Sean Crooks, and I have to mention Paul Lee as well. As far as the USA sites, I'm trying to kind of do this chronologically as technology advances and look at what we've got going on here today, which is kudos to you. But there's two guys that I won't forget, because here in Canada, it's cold, just like the northern states. It gets dark early, around 4:30. Doesn't get daylight till 9. But that is Willie Bobo and James Beltran. Those guys, I think Willie and James were the first one to do live feeds. And I thought, what, this is live? But I'm telling you guys, they got me through some dark times. And I'd log on there, and there was a time there where I forgot what it was like to laugh. And they'd have me rolling, belly aching laughter, and it felt so good. So I really want to thank both of you guys. Erwin Lopez with his lives, and then Ronald Ross recently that brought music back into our bird hobby. I watched one of his videos, and he had the jukebox blasting in the yard and having a great time. Such a positive guy. He was very influential, and you know, I've talked with them. You know how it is. You talk once in a while and you become better friendships virtually. George Curtis, I was trying to find some information on someone, and he helped me. He's a very knowledgeable man. Of course, I'll mention Rick Mee. Ivan Hatchett was helpful. George Moss, got to do a shout out for you. I really like what you're doing with your interviews, and I'm happy for you. Gwyl Steinhaus, another guy full of ambition, very dedicated to the hobby, very good at helping and promoting. Going back before these guys was Mark Booker. In the early days, I remember when he had his setup with, and it caught my attention because he had the English birds. But Mark was always on top of it. I don't know, like his space was pretty confined, but he kept that place clean, and just a really good, motivated guy, you know, who also had his career with firefighting. Troy Copeland, Ken Billings, Paul Fullerton, Joseph Van Dress, Nathan Horton, a guy that I connect with. I'm still not sure if he has birds, because we don't talk about birds.
Spoken to him in a while.
Yeah, he has the carpet cleaning business in there.
Okay.
I really admire the work that he was doing. So we talked a bit about that. Then, of course, I kind of put a heading on here, NBRC. Of course, Dan. Dan, I really appreciate everything that you've done. And when you did the national fly, first time in the States, it transitioned from Facebook pictures of birds in cages and names to actually getting the chance to see the U.S. countryside, to see the different coops, to meet the people and to hear the people that were only names on a page. That was invaluable. And then I was really glad when you did the European fly, and I'm really happy that this year you're doing the World Cup fly, which will give you an opportunity to see a little bit more of the world. And I'll put this in there now. You're doing a lot for the hobby. The world's not so big. You're pulling everything closer together in our pigeon community and our pigeon hobby. And kudos to you for how you're able to juggle everything around. It's simply amazing what you do, and it's much appreciated.
Thank you.
I have to mention Keith London. One phrase that he always says, selection is the most important thing. Tua Yang, Walking Encyclopedia, also a really great NBRC guy. Any history that you want to know, he's always piping in and supporting comments and discussions. Of course, Rick Shaney, another gentleman. I know he's been in it. It really surprises me that, you know, he was over in England back in the 70s or 80s. I wasn't that far deep into it back then. And Brian Krog for his job last year. And a fellow here that came out, Aaron Johnson, I think he's in BC, another good judge. Hector Montoya. Jim Johnson, and recently Jeff DeWitt. I've been watching his videos.
I'm talking, it was Hector Koya, I think he was talking about
Yeah.
Hector Koya. That's fine.
I'm almost done here, Dan.
Yeah,
And this guy I was supposed to mention at the beginning,
It's okay, you got his
but
book there.
John Bender. This was a game changer for me, John. Really well written book, and I like the fact that you emphasize the friendships in the hobby and that aspect to it. Another guy is Brian McCormick. I admire these two guys for their tenacity, and you know, like, I'm a pretty competitive guy, and in my career, and we talked about Dan and his career, there's a whole variety of skill sets that you have to have, you know, and I'm trying to transition that into the hobby, but this is new ground for me. I like to keep it fun. But when I look at the attributes, so John, for example, you know, I think he's like a 8th degree black belt. Mm-hmm. And if you think of all of the training that he has done in terms of movement and coaching and training people, and I was really touched because he gave me basically a thumbs up and a little bit of kudos, and I thought, wow, this guy way up there, you know, he's actually taking the time to give me some confidence, because, you know, we can feel not confident in this, no matter if we're confident people. And then on to Brian. Brian, when I was chasing birds around the spinners that I knew in the 70s, I came across his videos of Memorial Day. And I thought, wow, how did he zoom in to get that bird? And I hadn't seen a spinner like that in a long time. And I thought, wow, that's incredible that he did this. And we were talking with Dan a little bit. It's, you know, when people and friends ask us, you keep pigeons? Yeah, well, what are they? I said, they're rollers. They spin in the air. They said, what? Everybody goes to racing pigeons. But so I've always kind of like redirected them to that video of that one bird spinning. And I've also, even pigeon hobbyists in the hobby, I've told them, you want to see a good spinner, a video of one? Go to Memorial Day, Brian McCormick. But I was going to give you a shout out, Brian, because, you know, we talked a lot about qualities, individual drive, focus. It's a lot of work. So, you know, way back in the day, I tried to get some birds from you. You told me you didn't have them. But I got to know you better, and I know that you're an avid pigeon man in the show ring as well. Plus, you have your passions of photography, plus your marksmanship with the skeet shooting competitions, and also your, you know, up in the mountains in California. I never knew there was snow. So he likes his trucking. So I just want to say, I really hope, being the type of person that you are, I can kind of understand the resilience that you have to show, because I'm completely stressed up till the day of the fly and after. So kudos to you for doing very well. And I hope someday you get the crown jewel. You'll do it. Don't give up and win a World Cup. And that about wraps it up, Dan. But please, everyone, well, I got to remember one thing. Everyone, if you want to learn, and look at the title of this book, there's a reason it's done like this. It's The Pigeon Trainer and the Birmingham Roller. So if you want to know how to become a good trainer, get this book. John outlines it very well. And one thing I'll ask of all of you, if you can please, like, if we can get everyone to go on Dan's YouTube, hit a like, subscribe. And there's a reason I'm saying this, because I know in the UK they're having a lot of problems with these falconry groups. You know, the peregrines aren't extinct anymore. They're off the list. But yet local councils will put these birds up on buildings where they don't belong. And I was just thinking, if you know, if I was in a city where that was happening, the first place I'd go is to Dan's event here. It's not the Euro, this is world. So if you want to educate the politicians on how big this hobby is, that would be a good media piece to inform them of how widespread. And I think you get people saying, "What? Goes around the world? There's this many enthusiasts." So please do that. Thank you, Dan, for allowing me to go through this. John, I got everything off my mind.
You made this. Thank you for. I mean, you made this interview so easy. I mean, you had everything there, and I just to touch on something again. Such a pleasure meeting you, and you know what I wanted to add was that we all come from so many different places.
Yes.
All over the country, all over the world.
Yeah.
As I'm doing here, and all for the love of the pigeons that brings us together.
Yes.
Regardless of what politics, political side you're on, the birds bring us together. Sometimes the politics divides us, and we try not to bring up politics, and specifically because of that. And I think that's best kept outside of our hobby and our friends. And John, again, pleasure. I think there's so much more that we need to catch up on, and I feel like I knew you since as a child, but
it happens like that at times, right?
Well, we definitely am honored to be able to give you this awesome looking coin here that only qualifiers for the finals get, and pleasure meeting you.
Thank you, my friend. Wow, this is beautiful. I thought the pin was great. This is even better. I got to calm down. Nice job, Dwayne. And I tried to clarify with Dwayne, and he said really it was a collective because he put out feedback for the design. Wow, it's got that one on the back, which is nice. Yeah,
back of the shirt.
But he got feedback on it, so Dwayne wouldn't take full credit. He said he got a lot of feedback from the guys. And this is my opportunity, Dan. When I saw you doing that at the very beginning, I thought, why is he doing that? He's concealing the coin. Then you gradually described what it's all about, the friendship, the bond. And it's a little bit of our Macedonian tradition that goes back centuries. We do the same thing. If there's a special occasion or a celebration, it's like the handshake with a little bit of coin in it for good luck. And I'd like to present you. It's a celebratory, congratulatory coin. And I'd like to congratulate, it's the Canadian maple leaf. And I like silver. I wish I could have got gold, but you're as good as gold. But congratulations to you and everything that you do. And that's a token of my appreciation for the goodness that you've brought to the hobby. Like you said, we come from different places, but competition's competition, but friendships are more important. So thank you very much, Dan. And congratulations on being the World Cup judge this year.
I'm going to turn this off.